Good evening. Democratic Senator Adlai Stevenson arrived in Rockford about
an outboard dealer.
Good evening. Anna's off tonight. The U.S. aircraft carrier Kitty Hawk collided with a nuclear...
With Bruce Richardson, Monica Schneider, Bob Kevern with the weather, and Kim Lepak with the sports. Now, live, this is News 17.
Good evening, I'm Monica Schneider.
And I'm Bruce Richardson. French Defense Minister
Bruce Richardson, Bob Kevern with the weather, and Kim Lepak with the sports. Now, live, this is News 17.
Good evening. A burned-out shell and a lot of questions are all that remain of the...
Channel 17, Rockford. This is News 17 at 6 with Steve Stottleman, Kimberly Charchan, weather with Marty Hartman, and Kim Lepak with sports. Northern Illinois and Southern Wisconsin's leading source for news.
Another teachers' strike in the state line. Good evening, I'm Steve Stottleman.
You're watching WTVO TV, NBC, Rockford. This is News Channel 17 at 10 with Steve Stottleman and Kimberly Charchan. First weather with Marty Hartman and Kim Lepak Sports. And now, Rockford's News Channel 17.
4 Rockford Elementary students are arrested and suspended after...
This is WTVO Channel 17 News at 10. News where you live.
Thousands of lives were suddenly ended by evil, despicable acts of terror.
News where you live starts now.
This is WTVO Channel 17 News at 5. News where you live.
This newspaper ad warns residents they could pay the price for medical malpractice lawsuits. Good evening, I'm Steve Stottleman.
And I'm Mary Stoker-Smith. We'll have that story for you in a moment, but first, Chief Meteorologist Scott Harbaugh says some severe thunderstorms could be passing our way.
Yeah, already we've had some in the area this afternoon. Still a severe
Some new information about a controversial therapy for women. You'll hear from the experts up next.
You're watching WTVO Channel 17 News at 5. News where you live with Steve Stottleman, Mary Stoker-Smith, Scott Lever with sports, and Chief Meteorologist Scott Harbaugh with your Storm Tracker 17 forecast. Get ready. This is WTVO Channel 17 News at 10. News where you live.
The war against Iraq has begun. Good evening. I'm Mary Stoker-Smith. The first bombs have been...
Some things we can kind of prepare for, even though it may never happen.
A local alderman warns residents about swine flu, but is all the concern warranted? And coming up, the top 40 under 40 in Rockford and celebrating what they brought to the state lines. Plus, 2 Illinois spellers made the finals of the Scripps National Spelling Bee, but who was crowned spelling champion?
Clouds roll out just in time for Friday, but the weekend may see some stormy weather. The weekend forecast has the latest.
This is WTVO Channel 17 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Charles Vance. Nicole has the night off with the death toll from swine.
You're watching WTVO News at 10 with Charles Vance, Nicole Kilmer, Scott Lever with sports, and Paul Youngblood with your first warned weather forecast. This is WTVO News at 10.
Wow! Now, from Rockford, WQRF Fox 39 Evening News.
Good evening, I'm Kimberly Nelson. The Salvation Army cuts ties with the N Center, a move that the organization says will...
WQRF Fox 39 Evening News with Kimberly Nelson.
Check this out.
A national chain serves up its last orders of burgers and fries and shuts its doors. That's coming up on Fox 39 News at 9.
Now, from Rockford, WQRF Fox 39. News at 9, Weekend Edition.
Some Machesney Park homeowners are dealing with a foul problem, and it's not flooding. I'm Ariel Gurian, and that's first tonight. While many Machesney Park residents are
Coming up on Eyewitness News Local at 5, a second look. The case involving a 15-year-old drowning victim being re-examined 20 years later. How the girl's relationship with Terrence Dottie in the halls of Hononegah High sparked it.
Plus, a pair of overnight house fires causing concern among local fire officials. Why firefighters say they have seen this pattern before.
And campaign kickoff. A new attack ad from Bruce Rauner ignites what should be an expensive election cycle. The shot the candidate takes at Governor Quinn.
2 stations, more local news. Eyewitness News Local at 5 starts now.
Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Nick Toma.
New details are emerging about the connection between accused killer Terrence Dottie and the death of a State Line teen.
The 15-year-old girl drowned.
You're watching Eyewitness News Local at 5 with Mimi Murphy, Nick Toma, Sports Director Scott Leber, and meteorologist Brandon Arnold.
Straightforward, to the point, more local. Eyewitness News Local at 9 on Fox 39 starts now.
Good evening, I'm Eric Wilson.
And I'm Pari Cruz.
Officers, residents, and political leaders.
Straightforward, to the point, more local. Eyewitness News Local at 10 on WTVO starts now.
Good evening, I'm Pari Cruz.
And I'm Eric Wilson.
Officer Jamie Cox's passing isn't just a loss for the Rock.
Live from WTVO 17, Eyewitness News in the morning starts now.
Rockford passes a plan to help the city benefit from marijuana sales. The add
Live from WTVO 17, Eyewitness News at 6 starts now.
Giving back to the community as easy as eating a delicious burger. Proceeds will go towards building a facility to help those affected by domestic violence. And professors in Wisconsin are working on a drug to help menopause symptoms. Their research could ultimately help find a cure for a mental illness that affects millions. Plus, a local community breaks ground on a new plaza. Officials hope this will revitalize downtown Freeport. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brett Brooks. Eric and Mimi are off tonight. It's another
Live from WTVO 17 and your home team, Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
President Trump spends the afternoon touring areas in Kenosha, Wisconsin, damaged.
Live from WTVO 17, this is Eyewitness News in the morning.
Free hot cocoa. There we go. Pop it up this morning. Expect lines at Starbucks.
Are going to go. That's coming up next.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Whitney Martin, David Greenberg, and meteorologist Joey Marino. Live from Fox 39, this is Eyewitness News in the morning.
Good morning to you. 7 o'clock on the dot. Less than 2 weeks till Christmas.
Our wind speeds could go later this afternoon. That's next.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Whitney Martin, David Greenberg, and meteorologist Joey Marino. Live from Fox 39, this is Eyewitness News at 4.
Good afternoon. I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Tom Lewis. Thank you so much for joining us for Eyewitness.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Mimi Murphy and Chief Meteorologist Candace King. Live from WTVO 17, this is Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening. I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. Police arrest a Rockford man who they say
A little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Michelle Abraham has everything you need to know, from local leads and celebrity interviews to trending topics and more. Right now on Good Day Stateline.
Hi, and welcome to Good Day Stateline. It's Wednesday, December 13th. I'm Michelle. Thanks so much for being here with us tonight on National Cocoa Day. What do you like to...
Live from WTVO 17, this is Eyewitness News at 6.
Good evening. I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. Rockford man is sentenced for beating his girlfriend to death more than 5 years ago.
Later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King. Live from Fox 39, this is Eyewitness News at 9.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Tom Lewis. Thank you for joining us. Police arrest a Rockford man who they say sexually abused a minor.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team with Tom Lewis, Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King. Live from WTVO 17, this is Eyewitness News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Eric Wilson. A Rockford man is sentenced for beating his girlfriend.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team with Eric Wilson, Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.